Hello everybody, and guess what day it is? It is currently August 5th, 2020, which happens to be the 10-year anniversary of Superior Mobile being in business. That is correct, folks. 10 years I have been incorporated as Superior Mobile by 13, which is technically not true because I originally incorporated as Superior Mobile Fabrication and Personalization, LLC, because my wonderful attitude since the very beginning was that I was going to go upstream, be the salmon, fight against the norm, and everyone always says have a nice, short, succinct company name. So of course, what did I do? The total opposite, Superior Mobile Fabrication and Personalization. The roots of that name can still be seen on my brochure where it's Superior Mobile by 13, which is currently my DBA, which is doing business as, but you also have fabrication and personalization right underneath it. Business card Superior is all big, Mobile Fabrication and Personalization is underneath it. So I mean, like, it's still there, but like I really have just shifted the business over to Superior Mobile by 13. The Instagram and YouTube channels both use the handle by 13. That's really just the orientation of where I'm going as far as the business is, because again, I have no intention of ever hiring employees. This is just me. It's just my operation, just running things. It is by 13. When you hire me to do a job, you're going to be dealing with me from start to finish, like it or not. And if you don't like it, go find someone else. It's been about 3 months since the last update. I have in that meanwhile gotten very organized and very focused as far as trying to eliminate the backlog of projects, which is something I've really been doing for about the last year or so. I now have some to-do lists basically in the shop, in the office. It's about the third iteration of them. They get revised fairly often, mostly because there's so many projects that keep getting added on the list, but that's what I'm trying to eliminate as long as I'm focusing on just removing items from the list. I've been making a lot of progress on old videos that have not been edited and posted, so that I'm sure you've seen, well, if you're a subscriber, I'm sure you've seen a basic influx of videos lately, and that's because I've just been sitting here on the computer doing my thing. Always focused on simply the caliber and quality of my life, not so much a bottom line, not so much a profit margin, just making sure that I'm living a full and happy life. And a lot of that involves taking care of my own projects, doing a nice work-home balance thingamabob, doing enough work in order to sustain my lifestyle, which is extremely frugal, and not so much that I have just money coming out of my ears sort of thing. That's just not a goal. I don't need a fancy car. I don't need anything really. I just like doing projects, and sometimes people pay me for them, and sometimes I don't want people to pay me. Okay, so let's take this opportunity to do a quick run around the shop and show you what's happened in the last 3 months since Panicdemic has decided to completely change our civilization. Whatever, adapt, improvise. For starters, the table is actually much cleaner. A, because Danielle likes to clean it and I love her so much for that, and B, because I've really been focusing on knocking off these piles of things that have just been piling up for forever. I still got a lot of stuff up there, still got a lot of yerba mate, which, by the way, for the record, today I am 9 days sober with no caffeine, and let me tell you, I'm over the worst of the hump. I was drinking about one of those a day because I love them and they're delicious. However, of course, caffeine addiction is very much a real thing, if not just tolerance keeps going up. As far as showroom goes, that moved there. It's still on the ground. I'm sorry. There's a few other things that have kind of moved around and shifted, but nothing really too exciting. It's mostly all of the same, other than the fact that we have 2 new headlight builds in here. This is a Honda Civic. It's a pre-build. This one I haven't even taken pictures or marketed yet, so technically this is the first you're gonna see it. This is available for purchase. I also have down here the Nissan Frontier. That is available also for purchase. There's a video on that one. And then I guess technically, for the record, this Mercedes headlight is also available for purchase. I really do not want to get into the business of pre-builds. This one is kind of a special circumstance. That one was definitely just, I really saw an opportunity to make a really cool build. I may or may not replicate it. It really just depends on how long it takes for that thing to sell, and so far it's not selling quickly, so I'm not super stoked on it. And this one, again, special circumstances, and I don't really know if there's going to be a Civic boy that wants to spend $1,000 on headlights, but I mean, hey, it's really pretty, and hopefully somebody will like it. Let's head out to the shop now, shall we? All right, let's see what's going on over here. First of all, I do have bottom shelves that are now white. That's cool. I have this mosquito trap thing that kind of does something. I don't know. I run it whenever the mosquitoes get really bad here in the shop. I had to do something. The fender is almost completely done as far as the sticker bomb process goes. This thing has had a lot of rehab work done to it. I also decided to take on the other fairing off of this thing and redo that because it was starting to fracture a little bit up around the top. This one is pretty much almost checked off the list and will go back onto the motorcycle, which, speaking of the motorcycle, we should probably address the fact that, oh my goodness, it's not here. It has been at another shop here for about 6 or 7 weeks. I found somebody who is officially qualified to get her running, and although there isn't any progress report on that other than it's not being stored at my place, which makes me super happy, it will get done now. So that's great. We're making progress there. This actually I just did last night. I made that red. 8 or 9 years I've had this table with the hole in it for where I stored my trash can. I made this originally for when I was working out of that one-car garage underneath my apartment. So it definitely is old, and it had a lot of holes in it and stuff, and really just kind of matching the theme of having like the red countertops. And I had some leftover laminate, so like I just did that just because, you know, why not? This press last time, I was giving it some praises because it wasn't leaking. That's all lies. I gotta be real with you. I am super, super disappointed with Grizzly on this press. This is just some nonsense made in China overpriced stuff because, like, yo, it leaks non-stop from every point. See how this wood is completely soaked in oil? Like, if I get up on this thing, there are drips like right there. Like, this thing is just constantly leaking, and not just the rod itself, the hose and the actual reservoir assembly. You see that pile of oil right there? That stain of oil right there? This thing sucks. I hate it. I wish I'd never bought it. Moving on over here where things are super exciting and moving along. All right, so there's first of all, nothing's happened with that. Second of all, this, I added on this second port right here because now it comes around right here, and then we have another Y connection where I have an access port right there, and then obviously there's this cabinet assembly right here. This cabinet has been the primary focus for quite some time for me and has been quite a hurdle for me to overcome because it is the first cabinet of many cabinets, and so it's really kind of setting the precedent for what's about to happen, which is finally the makeover that I've been trying to build for this shop for the last 2 years. So the countertop for this has already been made and laminated, and I dropped it off at my laser/CNC guy, I think about 2 days ago, and it's having 115 holes drilled into it. So it'll be the circular hole pattern right here, and then I've got the ductwork that connects right there, and I got my hose clamps there, I got my screws there, I got everything all set up. Basically, this is getting done, which makes me feel super happy because the next step basically is I'll start working on this corner section. That'll be the next cabinet to go in, which, as you see, I put a sweet notch in here. I also attempted to pre-duct more dust collection out right there to come around and then right over here, because eventually I'm going to want the miter saw, which is currently just chilling here, up on the countertop over here. And so that's got to make it somehow to over here. Something really cool. Check that out. I got rid of the attic, which I've kind of hated for a long time. Everything up there pretty much got relocated. I got a lot of the upholstery materials tucked under there with that god-awful bumper that's going to, of course, grow roots in the shop. A lot of other stuff is just spread across up there, though. It's not quite where I want it yet, but I mean, again, we're making progress, and that's the whole idea. I have a full docket of customer builds already coming up over the next few weeks, but also I am closed to all new business. So all of that time that I would originally spend on doing quotes or answering phone calls or emails is now freed up, and that's a significant amount of time, so I can really focus on what's going on around here. As far as the project queue is concerned right here, this is actually for those Honda Civic lights. This is a BMW 3 Series that I am going to do, which is exciting. It's my first BMW build, and ironically, I don't really have much else to show other than I'm doing some paint work on Braden's Tacoma soon, and this is going to be one of the 2 Chargers that I'm doing this month. I think it's cool that you get to kind of see this cabinet before it's completed because it should be done in about a week or so. So hopefully by the next video you'll actually see like some real progress towards the end game of what I've been wanting for this place. It has been under construction for 7 years now. I've been in this location, 10 years in business. But overall, man, this is just still too much clutter for me. I'm really looking forward to just increasing my efficiency, increasing my happiness with my workspace. One last thing before I go, I will say this, also scheduled for for August is I will be finally addressing these guys. I will be removing terrible fluorescent lighting that I have. I only have 2 8-foot structures in the shop, and so that is just not sufficient. So I finally got some LED structures ordered, and they should be arriving in approximately 2 to 3 weeks, and then I will be able to do that. Bye, everybody. Thank you for supporting me for 10 years. Oh my goodness, this has been a wild ride. I've really enjoyed it, and I'm gonna keep on going, and thank you so much for watching. Have yourselves a wonderful day. Happy August 5th, 2020.